Alright guys, I haven't done much filming today because the weather was quite good, a little bit overcast, but no rain around. So I've just been going mad, getting all these gutters finished, all these face walls done for the lady. She's really over the moon. I'm happy. Job's finished. Just a little bit of cleaning, had a little bit of overspray from this because I didn't put a sheet down. So I just cleaned it up with the hot water. And I really just got to collect my money and hook up the trailer. I'm out of here. But I'm going over to the shopping centre tonight to work another 6 hours. So it's a long day today. But that's how the money's made on the long days. So yeah, we'll talk about something else later. Alright, so we just finished that job. We just got paid from the lady. She doesn't do direct deposit. She doesn't do credit card or anything like that. She pays everything in cash, which means I got to take the cash and take to my bank account and insert it in there. And oh, sorry, just reading a text message from the wife. And yeah, so I got to take it from her and then put it back in my bank account, which is fine. There's a quick deposit box to scan it and run it all through. But there's been one or two people that say that I don't make the money that I make. And here's some evidence. So that, my friend, is eight and a half grand. A lot of hundreds in there. 8.5 grand. That is real money, cash money, that'll be going back into my bank account, which will put my bank account over a nice 5 figures already. So we're gonna hold on to that one, take him to the bank, and away we go. So we're gonna go to the shopping centre. I might do a little bit of talk about transferring SH and that through my tanks. Which is somebody who's already asked me about, so I might finish the video off transferring tanks. So back at the shopping centre, we're doing all defects and tidying up and stuff. So I've run around and I've been putting some roll-on texture on sections where they did patchwork, but the patchwork was flat and didn't match the texture on the wall. So that's the texture on the wall, and then we've rolled out roll-on texture. So you can see that texture. So that texture's got that nice flat. So when we roll that out, it should look reasonably nice. It's not going to look perfect, but it's going to look the same to a degree. And then what we did over here is we fixed that wall there, and we did some repairs over there. Got to re-roll all these walls, double cut all these walls, roll them out, and then we're going to paint the underneath of the bridge as well. God knows why they left that. We did the light posts this morning, we did them, so we've got some touch-ups on the fascia. In their defense, the fascia is meant to get an aluminium capping on it because it's all damaged and they didn't want to replace the timber. But what they're doing is sliding an aluminium fascia up underneath that and screwing it in. But the shopping centre wants it looking nice, so now we're going to come back and roll that little bottom edge right around. They've just got to tidy up those type of things, tidy up the wall. We'll have to come back with a bit of Sikaflex. We've got a bit of Sikaflex to do on that wall. So we've closed off the top car park for now. Everybody can park underneath. If they can't get underneath, I'm not too worried. Shop starts at 6. So doing all these little repairs. They're not the best, they did sink a little bit. We'll paint them up and see if they defect them again. If they do, we'll have to try and build that up with a bit of gaps or something. They looked nicer this morning, but they sunk in a bit. So, and a little touch up there, touch ups there. We finished that black fascia across there. Some reason it was left. So what we got to do is we got to paint this whole face wall, and that little black edge just on the bottom there, just on the bottom of that lip, we got to paint that in black. For some reason they didn't do it. Same way across, all the way across there. But they painted this wall and then it's rained, so then all the rain's washed all the paint down. So we're just gonna repaint this whole wall. And then we did some texture repairs up here because they come in and rendered it and it looked like trash. So we've re-rolled out this section and then we'll have to roll it from that corner back. So basically there's some things that we got to do. The main thing is to finish all the boom work, which is this big wall here and a little bit out the back. And then once we finish that, then we can move on to all the other little things. So we'll get stuck into that. So I got asked on my comments, which I love you guys doing, you comment down if you want a video made or something like that about how I transfer my SH in my tank. So there's two ways I do it. Is I got a top fill that's basically the only hole. I got this little thing here, but that's all bunged off. So that's the lowest hole in this tank. And that was because it was already made with that hole. So this tank is full. I've got a breather hose up the top here for the fumes. And then we got all our drop sticks. We got 3 drop sticks here, 1 inch, 3/4, and then for the that one's tapped into the smart stream. So what I got done is, this is a 5.5, so 23 litres a minute. 23 litres a minute, just a 12 volt pump sitting down there. So it draws straight out of the chemical tank. It pumps into the chemical tank. So you get a line there and it pumps straight up into the chemical tank. So that's where that line goes. So it comes out of the 3-way valve. So I've got a 3-way valve with 1 meter of hose that I can drop this into a drum on the ground to suck it out of the drum with my arrow pointing back to this line, and then I can suck it straight out of the drum, pump it straight into my tank. So if I'm going to a chemical shop and they don't have a facility to pump straight into the drum, then I can pump straight out of a barrel or pump straight out of a 20 litre drum and fill it up that way. The reason I've got a 3-way valve on this is connected straight up to my tank, and then I turn the 3-way valve to water for about 5 seconds just to flush out that pump every time I fill up. So I flush it out and then I'll turn it back to my line and pump air into the line. So I pump air all the way back up here to cause an airlock. The main reason we want to do that is because we don't want the gravity, the feed, the chlorine all the way back down then back up through your pump and then all the way back down, because it will siphon itself out because that's lower than your tank. Most of the time I have it up like that, so then the outlet is way above my tank. And then if I see chemical in the hose here, then I know the three-way valve has failed, and then I'll zip tie it up there and I'll go get a new three-way valve. But don't think a pump will stop the flow. The flow for the pump, the flow will just go straight through the pump, so that's not going to stop it at all. So we make sure we got an airlock in that hose, so that way it's not pumping water or chemical through there. And that's basically how I transfer. And I've got a Tasmanian oak dowel, and I got it measured at 20 litre increments to the bottom of my tank. So this dipstick is a year old, and it's been eaten up a little bit by the chlorine. So it gets dipped in pure chlorine, and I don't really wash it. So it does eat the oak away a little bit, but you know, if we make one stick a year, it doesn't really matter. I've got two back up at home. So yeah, that tells me how many litres I got in my tank at all times. If you got a clear tank, then you could probably just mark on the side 20 litres, 50 litres, whatever. But I got a black tank because that was the right size tank for the area that we wanted to fit it in and how much chemical we could hold. So that was just the way we went with that, and it just worked. And then I've got a clear tank for my soaps. So that's all my soap in there. It's a 50 litre tank for my soap. So that's pretty much how I transfer all my chlorine or SH. Two ways. Drop it in the top or pump it in. That way I don't have to try and pour it in the hole anymore, because that's a pain in the ass. So if you got an old 12 volt, you can rig them up pretty easy. You don't have to have a three-way valve. If you can disconnect that top one, then you don't have to have a three-way valve, but I set it up where I don't have to touch it. I might replace that once every year or once every 2 years, but that's better than not touching it. So that's all bolted in, so I just unscrew that out and put a new one in. Pretty simple. Take a couple minutes to do it if I need to replace it.